I wanna know. Listen, don't start me with the electric slide on the start of the video. Don't even. What you saying? Okay. Do you know when it's time to let go? Do you? Okay. Before we go ahead and get into it, go ahead and like and subscribe this video. Like, subscribe to this channel. And then when you come back, we'll discuss, okay? Go ahead. So now that we got the electric slide out the way, and you got the liking and subscribing out the way, the question still remains. Do you know when it's time to let go? The art of cutting something off. Did you know that that is actually a spiritual application? Yeah, so many times people have tried to make it seem like, oh, you can't cut such and such off. That is your fill in the blank. No, you got to be the bigger person and turn the other cheek. Like, yeah, all that is in the Bible. But do you know what also is in there? That God is a God that prunes. Oh, it's in there. That he prunes so that you can go ahead and produce fruit. And if you are producing fruit, awesome. He prunes so that you can go ahead and produce more fruit. Which means that cutting off something is actually a spiritual application. So it would behoove if we were to identify and hone, when do we let go of something? Now, something is causing you extreme pain, okay, draining you. I mean, there's some obvious things that we can go ahead and say, like, yeah, why is she still holding on? Why he's still holding on? It should be obvious, right? When you're holding on to barbed wire, opposed to holding on to the rope a little too long. But it's tricky. Because some people hold on to barbed wire for a valid reason. That is the relative of this particular title. They feel like this is the thing that they prayed for. They've already put this much time into the relationship, into the business venture, into the whatever. So if you were to peel back the layers of why isn't someone letting something go, their excuse, 9 times out of 10, is valid. But oftentimes it lacks wisdom, because I serve a God that cuts off. He cuts off. Can I give you my perspective on that? Okay, great. So the Israelites, we already know those were the grandbabies that were chosen to do something awesome, to go ahead and see God in a way that no one documented has seen God outside of Jesus, okay? I don't know about you. I've been around some oceans, not particularly the Red Sea, but I've never seen one split. I've never seen it split and then dry ground. I've never seen it rain breakfast. Manna? Yeah, I've never seen that. I've also never seen God in a cloud type of figure, or turning to a pillar of fire, or there are some things that it's like, have you seen that? No, but the Israelites did. And so we can be very clear. If we didn't know from the plagues in Egypt, we can be very clear that God absolutely he loved those grandbabies. You understand? But it's like after a while, even God had to accept, I got to let y'all go. And so what were some of the components that were let goable? That no matter what you do, no matter how much you show up for someone, no matter how much you hold on to the promise that you made for this particular venture, this particular relationship, this particular job, there was something in you that was like, I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be persistent. I'm going to be the best that I know that I can be, because I feel called to this. I feel led to do this. I feel whatever that nudge is that makes you want to keep going. It makes sense. But at some point you have to stop and say, but this person, this venture, this particular job, this relationship no longer is serving the purpose that I can show up in my fullness and serve it. Like God did all that he did in Egypt, all those plagues, and they were still like, we thirsty. Y'all gonna complain? We don't have no meat. We used to have meat in Egypt. Are y'all serious? I'm sorry, is Ashton here, Kutcha, like for being punked so early on in Genesis? It's like, are y'all serious? Moses go away for a little bit. We need somebody to lead us. I'm sorry. Say I did the golden calf. After a while, you have to look at the actions of a person. You have to look up at how they show up for you, how they show up when you're not around, how they show up for the thing that you're trying to show up for. And after a while, you have to determine, is the mindset that this person is driving from, is it conflicting with what I'm trying to show up for? I'll give you a perfect example. One of the jobs that I had to so lovingly do the Dougie on, yeah, the jerk and all the other dances and walk out real quick. Okay, great. I kept hearing something that I was like, I don't think you see it in its fullness. I kept seeing leadership that had a very clear mindset on something. When it came to other people in the company, when it came to how they want something to be done, it was very clear that they were not progressive forward. It was very clear that they were not interested in changing the environment. It was very clear that they were not interested in even in the playing field and just doing things that will make somebody want to come to work, stay to work, and not have high overturn. Okay, great. And it was very clear. So from my particular position at that time, HR assistant, I went ahead and was like, okay, so one, the things that I'm doing is not kind of alleviated or aligned to this particular title, right? Because y'all got me doing HR director stuff. How do I know? Because I'm doing some of the stuff. Okay, so we're clear. Also, the qualifications for what that particular position required, I exceeded it before I even stepped in the seat. But I humbly took the opportunity to show thyself approved so that I can add value to that seat, so then I can then go ahead and bring value to the company, so that I can then have a voice to say, hey, can we now add value to me? And so after having conversations with the hierarchy thereof, because I had made such great relationships and rapport with other people that I was like, hey, am I in right standing on the way that I'm thinking? Because at that particular season and time in my life, it meant something to me that other people saw my vision. It doesn't anymore. Another video, another day. Okay, great. Let's stay focused. So went ahead and spoke to the person of higher up and went ahead and gave the bullet points. Listen, as far as education is required, like I superseded that. Okay. Also, years experience, my experience, like it saturates this position. Okay. Also, and so I gave all my bullet points. You know what the response was? Shockingly, agreed to every bullet point. But then also said, yeah, that position needed to be reconfigured because they created this position a long time ago. But you're right. You actually, with you in that seat, we need to reconfigure it. So I was like, great. Okay. Can I go ahead and pitch an idea for the unit? Because I'm like, this is going to be awesome. Like, because with new titles should come new money. Okay. Also, it can even out the playing field on how much work one person is doing, because one person looks super bored because she has things that she can finish up very quickly. The other thing, so I was like, okay, so can we go ahead? May I give a pitch that will make the unit better? She was like, sure. Go ahead and research and give me some comparables and all the other things. And let me tell you something. This grandbaby did the work. I'm talking about, you would have been like, ooh. Book report, call me book report Betty, because who's doing it better? Take the picture. You understand? Because that's how it is. And guess what? At the end of that, still gave a resounding no. And so in speaking to my new updated HR director, I was like, they're not going to add value to me. Now, she was doing a whole bunch of praying. She had people praying collectively for the breakthrough thereof. And she kept saying, you know, it's coming. They're going to change their minds at one point. They're going to go ahead and the money is coming in. They're going to value you, and said that for almost a year. So that was one. Two, I also started seeing that higher ups were extremely rude. And so when I would say, did you take offense on what she just said? The HR director would say, yeah, but I don't think she meant no harm. I was like, no, the harm was meant because she said it. Yeah, it's certain things that you got to kind of, let me dissect if that person meant disrespect. And then there's some things that was like, oh, disrespect, party of one. Like, it's obvious, right? And so I started to disconnect myself from the illusion of delusion that other people are partaking in. I'm like, listen, she means disrespect. Listen, she has no desire to make this job desirable for anyone in this unit. And so I did what was best for me. And I left. And the people that were there kind of sort of made some shifts and changes as far as positioning and trying to get out the unit, going to other places. But there was one that stayed and she was like, no, I'm going to see it through. God bless you. Because I seen a God that created a first world, saw that everything was good. And then at the end, everything was very good. And then seeing all this awesomeness. And we go a couple of chapters in and he's like, I regret making man. It's like, ooh. But Noah, you found favor in my sight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to salvage this whole situation with you. Went ahead and looked at Sodom and Gomorrah and was like, y'all not getting it. So I'm going to have to destroy that. Right? And then with the Israelites, he was like, dang, I really wanted this to be for Moses and the Israelites. Like my A1s, my OGs, you understand? But I can't do that. So now I got to take the second set with Joshua and then complete my mission with a totally different new mindset. People with a new mindset. So what I have developed in understanding the art of the cutoff, and when the indication appears, when it's time to let go, is, are you trying to lead people, remain in a relationship, sustain a job, sustaining an environment that's toxic of any magnitude? Are you trying to maintain that when the mindsets of the people behind that are Egyptian mindset, are pretty much just stuck on stagnation? That they have decided no matter what you do, not budging. I see the value because they have sight. But as far as having the vision or the mindset for the vision, that's absent. And so if you have not noticed, this is your sign to be truthful enough to yourself to identify, is it time to let go? I need you to look to your right, to your left, north, south if you need to, and be able to look at whatever the variable is in your life and truly ask yourself the bravest question you can ever ask yourself. Is it time to let go? What capacity of letting go do I need to go ahead and do? Some things are a complete cutoff. Some things are no, I can salvage that. Like I can salvage a second world with Noah. But this particular village, I'm cutting the whole thing off. And so you have to get the discernment on how you're going to go ahead and prune and cut off that side of what is no longer aiding to you. Please, please, please do not journey the rest of your life knowing that you are showing up in your fullness, but no one is showing up for you. Or the thing that you're trying to show up for already decided to take advantage of you because you're so consistent, because you're so reliable, because you're so dependable, and because you are so you. They have no desire to stop being them. So yeah, stop trying to like, oh, but he has a good heart, but he also has actions that don't follow that. Oh, but they see that I'm a good worker, and then when's the last time they added value to you? Oh, that's just the way that she is, and so that's your best friend? The one that criticizes you the most? Not here to judge, just here to offer a new perspective. Because if you grow in any kind of capacity, everything and everyone can't stay with you. But the mindsets behind the people that you stay with. You heard that invisible question I just asked you? Okay, good. Just wanted you to go ahead and get that. Because we're here now. Okay, great. So there's some things I could just give you a look and you know what it means, right? Okay. Well, listen, I feel like you got what you needed. Yep, that was the other. See, we doing this. Did you go ahead and like, subscribe, and do the YouTube things? Okay. You know we have these conversations every Thursday. Yes, every week. Because she and her, super consistent. Why? Because I'm going to show up. Because I was told to. And because I'm just that kind of grandbaby, okay, great? But I'm going to go ahead and let me go. We talk later. Later.